No one noticed the homeless boy at first. He sat near the old oak tree in the city park, barefoot, his clothes worn and stained with mud. People passed by, everyday joggers, parents with strollers, couples lost in conversation, but no one ever stopped. The boy's name was Eli, though no one ever asked. Eli believed the ground beneath him was alive. His grandmother used to tell him stories before she died, stories about the earth, holding memories, about pain sinking into the soil and hope rising back up. After she was gone, Eli had nowhere to go. The streets became his home, and the park became his shelter. Every morning, he pressed his hands into the dirt and whispered, asking the earth to help him survive one more day. That morning felt different. Across the park, a man sat alone in a wheelchair, staring at his legs as if they belonged to someone else. His name was Daniel Carter, once a successful architect, once admired, once unstoppable. Now he avoided mirrors and crowds. An accident 2 years earlier had taken away his ability to walk, and with it, his belief in life. Doctors had told him the same thing over and over: you should accept it. But Daniel never did. He came to the park every week, pushed there by his personal assistant or sometimes his estranged brother. He said it was for fresh air, but in truth, he came because the park reminded him of who he used to be: strong, free, whole. That day, Daniel noticed the boy. Eli was kneeling in the mud, hands buried deep in the soil, eyes closed, whispering words Daniel couldn't hear. Something about the scene unsettled him. Not pity, something deeper. Curiosity, recognition. When Eli finally opened his eyes, he saw Daniel watching. Instead of looking away, Eli stood up and walked toward him. "You're angry at the ground," the boy said softly. Daniel blinked. "What?" "You don't touch it," Eli continued. "People who hate the earth don't touch it." Daniel felt a strange tightness in his chest. "I don't hate the earth," he replied. "I hate what happened to me." Eli nodded, as if that made perfect sense. "The ground remembers pain," he said, "but it also remembers how to heal." Daniel almost laughed, but something stopped him. The boy's eyes weren't childish. They were old, tired, wise in a way that scared him. Eli suddenly knelt beside the wheelchair. "What are you doing?" Daniel asked sharply. "Listening," Eli replied. Before Daniel could protest, the boy placed his muddy hands gently on Daniel's legs. From a distance, Daniel's brother, who had just arrived, froze in horror. "Hey, get away from him!" he shouted, running forward. But Daniel raised his hand. "Wait." The moment Eli's hands touched his skin, Daniel felt something he hadn't felt in 2 years. Warmth. Not pain, not numbness. Warmth deep, spreading, alive. His breath caught. His hands gripped the armrests of the wheelchair. "I can feel it," Daniel whispered. "I can feel something." Eli closed his eyes again. "The earth is giving back what you lost," he said. "But you must forgive it first." Tears streamed down Daniel's face. He hadn't cried since the accident. Not when he was told he'd never walk again. Not when his wife left. Not when his career collapsed. But now, something broke open inside him. "I forgive," Daniel whispered. "I forgive everything." Eli removed his hands and stood up, exhausted. He nearly collapsed, but Daniel's brother caught him. Moments later, Daniel felt it again, this time stronger. A trembling in his legs. His toes moved. The park fell silent. Doctors would later call it medically unexplainable. Some would say it was psychosomatic. Others would say coincidence. But Daniel stood up that day. Not perfectly. Not easily. But he stood. And Eli disappeared. Daniel searched for him for weeks, months. He funded shelters, food programs, outreach teams, anything to find the boy who had changed his life. No one knew him. No records. No trace. Except one? An old woman who fed pigeons in the park every morning told Daniel something he would never forget. "That boy?" she said quietly. "He talks to the ground because his grandmother taught him. She said the earth heals those who listen. He never stayed long. Said he was only meant to help people remember who they are." Daniel returns to the park every week now on his own 2 feet. He kneels by the oak tree and places his hands in the soil. And every time he whispers the same words, "Thank you for my second chance."